All right, guys. So I stumbled across this great video from Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate, in which they're going to speak some facts on this Qatar situation with the World Cup being held there. There's been a whole lot of kind of drama, right? I believe at one point, again, I haven't kept up with it that closely. The U.S. soccer team or football team, right? I guess that's the international name for the sport. They were gonna wear, pride flags, and there was a journalist that apparently, I guess, got turned away or something like that because he was wearing a pride shirt. He might have got arrested or something like that as well too. There's been all types of stories about the drama going on in the pushback against Qatar because of their record on human rights, particularly when it comes to homosexuality. Now, again, I haven't really talked about this that much because I really don't find it to be all that interesting because, quite honestly, I'm not in the camp of where I think that we should be trying to push our values on other countries, okay? I don't think we should be worried about other countries and what they're doing. We got enough problems here in America to worry about with the crazy woke nonsense going on here. And I don't think that it's right or it makes sense for us to be over in other people's countries trying to tell them how to live and what laws they have that are right or wrong, okay? Again, I don't think we have all that much room to talk with some of the crazy stuff we got going on here in America. And this is something that, again, Andrew Tate and his brother is going to talk about. And I want to play the clip because what they're saying here is just, it's just common sense. In my opinion, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. And it's just a shame that basically this man has not been allowed to speak freely on the internet because he got banned for being a woman hater, okay? Allegedly being a woman hater. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Give me your overview of what you said about what's going on.
My overview was very simple. My overview was, if rainbow flags were the fashion of English people and we wore them all the time, I'm sure Qatar would let us in with the t-shirts. If nobody ever wears them in history and you show up at the arena with one, you are intentionally trying to provoke a culture into telling you to go home and change your t-shirts. You can paint you as the bad guy. That was the gist of what I said.
Imagine being a generic football fan, just a guy who likes football. Yeah, just bring it in.
Come in.
Imagine being a generic football fan, just a guy who likes football. You don't give a shit about any of these political statements, any of this garbage. And now all of a sudden you're, by just watching the football games and supporting football, you're on the side of mass. I don't even know what you are. What are they doing? Mass degeneracy? Like, it's insanity. Can't you just like football now?
Or can't you just, have sex with who you want in your house without having to show everyone in the World Cup?
Bro.
Facts. Facts. That's literally the exact same thing I'm saying. I don't care. I'm not trying to ban it. You know what I'm saying? Even though again, look, what's going on in those countries, right? Morally, okay, I disagree with that lifestyle, okay? But I don't necessarily think it should be illegal to sleep with who you want to sleep with, okay? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, again, that doesn't mean that you need to be out here and telling the world who you like to sleep with, because that's essentially what it comes down to. These people out here waving a pride flag, you're essentially just telling the world that, hey, I like to sleep with people of the same sex. That's what it means. And I don't think that people need to know that during a sporting event, right? What does that have to do with sports? It has nothing to do with sport. And this exact same argument we was making in the United States when these woke revolutionaries were protesting the national anthem because of systemic racism. I'm like, look, bro, there's a time and place for that, right? That's politics. Keep that in politics. You do that on CNN, do that on MSNBC, do it on TV, do it in a political space, do it in your, local police station. But you don't need to do it during the NFL national anthem, right? You don't need to do it during the national anthem, okay, of a major sporting event. We don't want to see that. We don't want to be talking about systemic racism and singing the Black national anthem and all this other nonsense in the middle of a sporting event. We don't want politics in sports, right? All you got to do is just show some appreciation and some respect for this country by standing for the anthem and play some football, get your money, right? And go make the difference in the community that you want to see. We don't need to hear about racism and police brutality and all that other nonsense during a football game, right? We watch sports for an escape. We escape politics when we watch sports. That's the whole point, right? If I want to watch politics, we go turn on CNN, right? Or Fox News, or hey, YouTube, right? I'm turning on YouTube if I want to watch politics. But again, I don't want to see that in no sporting event. Not in NFL, not in NBA. Again, that's what happened to a lot of these sports leagues, and people stop watching, right? And that's also a reason why a lot of these sports leagues have become irrelevant.
You're lucky I'm not Mr. Producer, because I saw some English TV show. There was an English TV show. Thanks. There's an English TV show. Just leave it, bro. Thanks. There was an English TV show, and it's one of these guys. He's one of them football pundits. I don't know. It was BBC Two or something. And there's a full 3 minutes singing and dancing, just saying how important it is to have rainbow armbands. Why? I don't get it. Why can't people just play football? Why do they have to mix in this agenda with everything?
Yeah,
it's like the West has no culture besides that. It's the last piece of culture, the pride flag. And I don't give a shit if people are gay. I don't care. You can be as gay as you want. But why do you have to not? Why did you go to another country and make sure that they understand how important it is that you believe that that's an important thing? Like,
well, interestingly enough, Andrew, in the argument of love is love and we should celebrate and make legal all types of love, if you are from Qatar and you are a Muslim and you live in England, you cannot legally marry 3 or 4 women. Polygamy is against the law in England. So if we were to hold the World Cup in England, could the Qatari players have their pro-polygamy, pro-multi-wife armbands on? But I don't think they would.
I don't think they would.
No, because they don't want to push their culture on other people. They're just
Facts. Facts. Again, yeah, I don't think they're going to come over to England or whatever if they had, the World Cup and be like, hey, I'm going to wear my armbands for Sharia law or, whatever they believe in. Okay, I think they're going to come, they're going to play, and then they're going to dip, right? Which is exactly what all these teams should do. You should go, you should play, and you should dip. Leave the agenda in your own country, right? And even in the U.S., we don't even want the agenda, okay? But again, they do the stuff over here in the U.S., and then they go to these other countries and do it, which again, hey, look, I'm going to say from a certain perspective, it's like, well, you do it here, you're doing it there, at least you're being consistent, but I also don't agree with you pushing on other people, and I don't agree with you pushing on us either, right? I think you should just live your life, be happy with the fact that you legally over here in the United States can sleep with who you want to sleep with and just going about your business, right? That's what I believe.
just happy being who they are. And I think that that's what every culture should do.
Yeah, because it's absolutely not arrogant to believe that your worldviews are somehow shared by every other nation on earth. It's actually amazing that the West pretends to be moral and has any kind of moral high ground. If you look at the track records of the West, whether it's starting wars or look at some of the ideas the Matrix is purporting now. I
did say this yesterday.
Yeah, there's Matrix. The ideas that the Matrix is purporting now amongst the populations of the West are absolutely and utterly degenerate. They're not moral. You're going to sit there and say that, it's okay to chop people's off at the age of 8 and 9, and that's somehow good. And then you want to talk to others about morality. There's absolutely nothing moral about the West. The West is disgusting in many various forms, and for them to sit there and pretend that they know so much more than other countries is absolutely and utterly disrespectful. By most metrics, Qatar as a country outperforms nearly every Western country.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's safer. They have families, lower divorce rate. They're doing something right. So for us to come along and say, no, they're doing everything wrong, they have to believe the way we think, is absolutely not arrogant.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Muslims got it all figured out, right? Or that their way of life is necessarily superior to anybody else's. But I'm just saying, I think they get more of a bad rap, right, than they actually deserve. They got some things figured out correctly, at the very least when it comes to traditionalism, right? And just like, basic moral standards. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm just saying there's something to be said about, hey, they're not doing things like Andrew Tate was talking about in regards to some of these experiments that are happening here in the United States on kids, pushing this stuff on children. They got nuclear families. They have a religious society. They have lower rates of crime. A lot of the moral degeneracy that we got going on over here, they don't have a lot of that stuff going on over there. Okay, again, I'm not saying everything they do is right. I'm just saying, I don't think we're in a position to be lecturing other people in regards to how to live from a moral perspective. I'm just saying. Interesting food for thought there from Andrew Tate. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.